folks, back for part number 5. We're going to do part for number 5 on deportations. This is going to be another short one because it's coming from another short clip. Let me just jump right into this one, folks. Again, you can see what I've seen already said in videos 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4 actually. This will be number 5. So let's just go, save time, shoot right into it. Folks, remember one thing, Acts 17:11. Search the scriptures daily to see if what I'm telling you is true, or this next minister that you're about to hear is telling you is true. Just don't take our word for it. We're not supposed to do that. Be as a noble Bereans. Always be of all readiness of mind, folks, eager to receive the word, but just don't take our word for it. Remember, search the scriptures to see if these things are true, as the Apostle Paul says. So let's go ahead and go straight to, again, and excuse my passion. Wow, I'm just, these things, folks, many are being led astray. We're in that time. Let me just go straight over to YouTube. You'll see right here, folks, the Bible condemns illegal immigration, is what this minister from Right Response Ministries, never heard of them before, but Right Response Ministries. And I say this humbly because what you're about to hear is all the wrong response ministries right now, folks. But again, let's give him an opportunity, 4 minutes, 40 seconds, as he's going to explain to you a terrible, erroneous, in other words, what he's about to say. Let me just go ahead and let him speak to you what he's going to say about Leviticus 19:33. Again, this is from Right Response Ministries.
Jesus said, "Man cannot live on bread alone, but from every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." You're listening to Daily Truth.
When a stranger resides with you in your land, you shall do him no wrong. The stranger who resides with you shall be to you as the native among you, and you shall love him as yourself, for you were aliens in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. There are 2 Hebrew words for the foreigner. Now the reality is that this word GWR, the Hebrew, what it means is it's often translated in whatever English text you have as alien or stranger. But what it means is a citizen. So this is a legal immigrant who had done whatever Israel required in order to gain full citizenship. And that's precisely what Leviticus chapter 19, verses 33 to 34 is talking about when it says, treat him kindly and extend to him all the same benefits that you have. So ultimately, what God is advocating for among his people, Israel, the Old Covenant, is that they extend the same rights and privileges to legal citizens among them, regardless of their origins. Which is absolutely true and applicable for us today. If someone is a legal citizen in our nation, regardless of where they came from, regardless of their ethnicity, we extend to them the same courtesy, the same rights that we have been extended. That is, the freedoms and rights and privileges that we have under the law. Now the other term is N-E-K-H-A-R, Nekar. That often is translated in the Old Testament, the Hebrew, as foreigner or sojourner. And it is speaking of someone who doesn't have full citizenship, but who is still permitted, they pass through the border rightfully, and has been permitted a temporary citizenship. It would be the equivalent of what we have in our culture today as somebody with a work visa. And we find many of the same kind of principles to extend courtesy and certain rights to this temporary citizen. So when you're reading the Old Testament, you see the sojourner or the foreigner. Think someone who has legally entered Israel with temporary citizenship, a visa. And whenever you're reading the Old Testament, you see the term alien or stranger, think a legal permanent citizen from another origin, with another nationality. Now all that being said, should we therefore give $450,000 to illegal immigrants who get separated at the border or claim to be separated at the border from their family? The answer is a resounding no. The Bible applies to all of life. God's Word has something to say. And a lot of what God's Word says is simply this: stop being stupid. We have an abundance of stupidity today. What we need is just a little bit of humility and courage and willingness for us to say, let God be true, and every man a liar. But thanks for watching this video.
Okay, we'll stop right there, folks. You heard what he had to say. He's right. We have a lot of stupidity in this world today. Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. I almost let that one slip. Folks, sorry, he's wrong. Okay, let me go ahead and break this down. What he's bringing up, folks, in Leviticus 19:33, that passage you heard. First of all, again, this is Old Testament. He is also a believer in the Messiah like I am, but I just wanted to give him the opportunity to speak. Let's go ahead and look this up, folks. Leviticus 19:33, that word that is used, you heard him mention, folks. Let's go ahead and go to the Strong's. In fact, I went ahead and pull that up for you guys so you can take a look at it. That word in the Strong's that he's referring to, it's number, if I remember right, number 1616. Ger. You see it right there. In the Hebrew 1616, that's out of Leviticus 19:33. You see, this is, remember, peer-reviewed, folks. I'm not a linguist, neither is this man. This is what all ministers go to, the authority to find out what these words mean. That word in the Hebrew, folks, you could even go to the Dead Sea Scrolls, if you like, which predate the Messiah 300 years, going back to Alexander the Great. You see, it's the origin, in other words, the translation here, folks, Ger from 1481, property, a guest, by implication, a foreigner, alien, sojourner, stranger. It's a masculine noun. Sojourner, a temporary inhabitant. That does not sound like citizenship, sir. That does not sound like citizenship. That's a temporary inhabitant, a newcomer, lacking inherited rights, a foreigner in Israel through conceded rights. Now, when you look up the root of that word, Ger, which you can see here, it's 1481 in the Strong's. 1481 in the Strong's, folks, right here. The root behind that, folks, you just get a Strong's, folks. We live in the age of information. Is gore. All right, a primitive root, property to turn aside from the road for a lodging. Doesn't sound like a citizenship. It's right there, folks. Feel free to read it. To sojourn, abide, dwell in, dwell, will remain, inhabit, be a stranger, not a citizen. Folks, the man doesn't know what he's talking about. This is peer-reviewed scholarship, folks, from the Strong's. The man does not know what he's talking about. Now, again, we live in an age of information. All right. You can see that word ger. No, the Hebrew word ger does not definitely mean legal resident. What is the man talking about? The problem is he's political. I've already looked into it. He is political. He's a Trump crony. Sir, you can't serve two masters. You're a minister. What's wrong with you? While it can refer to a sojourner or a stranger living within a community, it doesn't have the specific legal connotation of legal resident. So how does he come to the conclusion it's a legal resident? Folks, this is peer-reviewed. This is just out of the Strong's. This is just out of AI. This is started too. The mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word shall be established. Who is your master? Is it Donald Trump or Yahshua the Messiah? The word ger in Hebrew generally means a stranger, sojourner, or foreigner who is living among a different people or nation. Now, ger toshav, now I'm not a Hebrew linguist, folks, but feel free to look that up. It's all right here. No. There's your answer. What is this man talking about? No scriptures of private interpretation, by the way. He ought to know that. He's a minister. Now, let's go to that passage. Well, I'm not done with this one, folks. This is going to be real short, but let's go over real quick to that passage in Leviticus 19:33. Let the scripture stand for itself. Remember, search the scriptures daily to see if these things are so, and that's what we're going to do. Let's go over to Leviticus 19:33. Now, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a liberal. But there is no partiality and hypocrisy, sir. Jacob 3:13 establishes that. Your wisdom is full of hypocrisy. I can see some of the stuff you put in there. It's all pro-Trump. Get out of politics, sir. You can't serve two masters. Leviticus 19:33, that passage states, this is why Yahweh, because he knows all things, is going to leave us a guide marker to help us understand this gentleman is a minister of deceit. Leviticus 19:33. Let's go to that passage. Let's look at it again. Leviticus 19:33. And if a stranger sojourns with you in your land, you shall not do him wrong. Now he's saying, well, he's talking about a legal citizen who has become you heard what he said. You heard what the man said. Who has become a resident. In other words, like went through the proper channels. Okay, an illegal who got sworn in. They're now a Hebrew resident. The stranger that sojourns with you shall be to you as the homeborn among you. He's going to argue, yes, he's a citizen, okay? And you shall love him as yourself, for you were sojourners. Same word. You were sojourners in the land of Egypt. Why is Yahweh bringing that up? Why is Yahweh comparing the situation? Why? Because Yahweh knows ministers like this are going to show up later on. In other words, what Yahweh is doing is he's saying, it's the same situation you had in Egypt. That's why he's bringing it up. The scriptures don't speak in vain, sir. Every scripture is profitable for teaching, correcting, and reproving. And that's why I'm doing that right now. So let's go. Were the children of Israel legal residents in Egypt? Surprise, no they weren't. No they were not. That's why Almighty Yahweh, your Elohim, is bringing that up as a comparison. Go over to Genesis 43. Now this was before they entered the land of Egypt, but just to give you an idea, Genesis 43. In Genesis 43, we're going to find Joseph, who is the right-hand man of Pharaoh. Okay, and we see in Genesis 43, verse 32, and they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians that did eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians could not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination to the Egyptians. They wouldn't even eat together. It was forbidden. Now that was before the children of Israel came in. Remember, they were in Israel for how long? They were in Egypt for how long? 430 years, says Paul. 430 years. So, let's go over to Exodus 1. 400 years later, but maybe 380 years later, 350 years later, Moses' birth, Exodus 1, has anything changed? Have they become legal? Remember, they were already at this point, by Exodus 1, they had been in Egypt longer than most Anglos have been in North America. Okay? You figure by now, they'd be citizens of Egypt, right? Wrong. Because if they were citizens, why would this be happening? Exodus 1:8. Now there arose a new king over Egypt who knew not Joseph, and he said to his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel, wait a minute, aren't they citizens? No, they're not. No, they're not. That's why Leviticus 19:33 is not, even the scholarship is telling you that is not what that word means, sir. You're wrong. You're wrong. And the people of Israel are going to become more mightier than we. Come, let us deal wisely with them. Let's kill all the male children. If a woman has, you know the scriptures, if a woman has a male child, kill him. If it's a female child, she could live. Birth control. Because we got to do something against them. Why? It says here, come, let us deal wisely with them. Lest they multiply. Well, they're citizens, right? Nope. And it come to pass that when any war breaks out, they will join themselves with our enemies and fight against us and get up out of the land, because they're not citizens. They become slaves. They were never given citizenship. This is why Yahweh is bringing up, for you were also, that way the children of Israel understand, oh, you mean people that are in our gates, that are not legal the way we used to be? Right, because of the golden rule. Sir, you're wrong. You're in error. Proverbs 9. Reprove a wise man, and become wiser. Well, thank you for it. Reprove a scoffer, talk to the hand. What are you, sir? Now, of course, the Messiah has showed up since then. I can tell that you believe, remember, that's Old Testament. But even under the Levitical law, you are in serious error and flat out lying. Correct the nonsense. Now, under the Messiah, it only gets worse for that kind of garbage you're spreading. I love you. Yahweh bless you. Clean this garbage up. Okay? Deportations, they are not from our Father in heaven. Who do you serve? Donald Trump or Yahshua Messiah? Matthew 15. These people worship me with their lips, but your hearts are far from them, teaching as doctrines the precepts of men. Rather, as Colossians 2 says, the head of this body, which is who? Yahshua the Messiah. Love you folks. We'll talk again real soon. Yahweh bless you. Again, Deportations 5. Excuse my passion, but this is serious false doctrine. Love you. We'll talk again real soon.